Welcome to the madforitpodcast. It's the boys on the road to see Oasis live at Wembley in 2025. I'm Adam, this is Josh, and this is Tom. So, you might have noticed that we've got a few additions to the set here, including this amazing Oasis Knebworth 96 poster. Beautiful. And what you probably haven't noticed, because Josh is sat right in front of it, is there's some phone numbers on here to get tickets. So we thought we'd start off by trying them and see if we can try them. Oasis free phone ticket line. How much were tickets, Josh?
Tickets were £22.50, including VAT.
Including VAT is a very funny thing to say. Were people buying them for...
Are you ready to pay their local rate for your call?
Well, the top one's 0800, so I'm gonna. I don't want the coach travel because we don't live that far from Stevenage.
Info line, just see what the options
let's do
are.
it. Right, so it's 0800 614 595.
And you can try this at home if you're listening rather than watching.
You've dialed an incorrect number.
Oh.
We want tickets to Knebworth. How are we going to get them?
Okay, I will take the coach ticket.
Take the coach.
Okay, I will take the coach ticket.
0 3 4 5 5 8 1 8 6 9.
Can you read all right?
I can't see through these glasses, man. I don't know how it does it.
So this is for coach tickets. It's a 24-hour coach and ticket line.
Fingers
so
crossed.
This is it.
You've dialed an incorrect
So what's left?
Next one,
It's the hotline,
Ticketmaster.
just the Oasis hotline.
Right, well, how much is this going to cost? Known as Ticketmaster.
Well, it could be 20 quid if it's in.
That £1.50 booking fee, if only.
Right, it's good.
Yeah.
Although they charge £1 for postage, aren't they? So they were at it even back then. So okay.
Right, 0171 344 4040. Last chance.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Yeah, me too.
You've dialed.
Oh. No. Lads, I hate to break it, but we're not going to Knebworth 96. Oh. So sorry. But you can get tickets at the London Astoria, which I think got knocked down about 10 years ago.
Okay, so unfortunately, it's all digital now. The bots are here. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But in other Oasis news, did you see they got offered a place in the Hall of Fame?
I did.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And are you offered a place, or are you gifted a place, or are you invited to it?
It's a group of musicians and historians, and 1,200 of them, I believe. I read this earlier.
1,200?
Yeah. And they kind of vote and they whittle it down, and then I think it goes to the public, and they either create the last 5 or they pick one from the 5 that the 1,200 guys chose. So let's just have a look.
It's a bit Eurovision vibes, that.
Yeah,
as
like
well.
it's
very
democratic. This year. There's a lot of hype around them.
Yeah.
Well, let's just have a look who's nominated this year. So I'm just going to run through this quickly. Bad Company, The Black Crowes, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Joy Division / New Order, Cyndi Lauper, Mana, Oasis, Outkast, Fish, Soundgarden, The White Stripes.
I hope Outkast get it. No, I'm joking. Oasis for the win.
But do they want it? Because Noel's been pretty down about even the idea of this Hall of Fame. Right?
I think Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is the most Oasis thing you can do.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's so down the middle that it would just be like...
They got a song named after being a rock and roll song.
Yeah, it's kind of makes a lot of sense because there's lots of people that have rejected it, as we know, like Axl Rose didn't show up with Guns N' Roses. David Gilmour didn't show up with Pink Floyd in like 96. You know, Sex Pistols turned it down, all these kind of things because it's a bit of an industry.
And where are they now?
Yeah, exactly. One album gone.
It's more prestigious than a Brit Award or a Godlike Genius Award from the Enemy, isn't it? Like, remember the statue for that you get?
Is it the middle finger?
Ones? It's
yeah.
It's so lame.
Did that just come and go? Was that like 2004, 2009?
I bet you can get them on eBay now.
Let's get one for the set.
They definitely still do it now, I think. But there's no rock and roll stars now, is there?
That's true.
Give it to Sam Fender.
Well, I was on Enemy today, and they have 100 people to look out for this year. I was like, 100?
100?
How out of the loop am I that I don't know even 10 of those names? Like
one of them was cast.
Yeah. Watch them come in. Yeah,
don't have to be new. On the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, do you get something? Is it like the Hollywood Walk of Fame where you get your hands in the pavement, or what do you get?
If you go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame museum, you probably get a plaque, and they probably take some of your shit off you and you put it behind glass. Like,
you just freeze you in carbonite and you have to stand in the
like
museum
you're stuck
forever.
in Seattle in the museum, just like
they just put this in there. That's all we're actually. We're not that bothered. We'll just stick this pop thing in.
But yeah, it's really like it doesn't matter. It completely doesn't matter whatsoever. Like as a thing, like What do you stick that? Oh, nominated, like an Oscar.
Yeah, like
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominated band Oasis.
is that where the end of the Tenacious D movie is? Is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Where they're like the pick of destinies on the
don't-
Angus Young's guitar,
Oh, maybe.
and they slide down the big stairs.
I don't know, but I haven't
It's
seen
very
the film
close.
in years. Tenacious D get a good shake on this podcast.
Yeah, they
They
do,
come up a
yeah.
few times. Yeah, they're very.
You have to bleep every mention of the name, though.
Yeah, of
given they're
course, yeah.
cancelled now.
Yeah, I can't believe Jack Black did that. To be honest, but I read it again the other day. I was like, that is so savage. Like 30 years of working with someone, and they do one thing that goes against the crowd. Okay, all right, whatever. But then to be like, yeah, we're distancing ourselves.
Well,
we're cancelling the tour. Like we don't work together anymore. Like
Yeah,
he
but he's-
saved his own back.
But he's
at
come back off and said he's gonna do something again.
Well,
Yeah, he's let the controversy pass.
well, people want to boycott.
Disney have got their film
Kung
with
Fu
him
Panda.
out, and then now he's
Well,
like,
yeah,
okay, it's fine
yeah.
again now.
I don't know. When you guys say something iffy, I'm going to stand by you.
No,
We're all going-
why aren't you against what Kyle Gass said and he laughed at? Like, why are you upset that he betrayed his friend? Who's
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to leave,
a
guys.
libtard.
Actually, yeah.
So the topic of this week's episode is life after Oasis. Sort of what the boys did next, what projects they got into, who was influenced by them, and who's had a sort of similar breaking out of the band, and have they done well or not. There's like lots of musicians have tried, but very few have topped the band they were in, I would say.
Yeah, that it's very rare. Like, I think that's probably going to be more of a focus of it because we're all aware of the Oasis kind of post-success that everyone's had. But it's good to start on that as a jumping off point and look at all the bands who were broken away from their main band.
Mhm.
Have they had more success? Have they had little success?
Well, name some that have had success, because I like really struggled
New
to think
Order.
of anybody. New Order wouldn't.
New Order.
That is such a specific set of circumstances, though, and
But it sticks to it. The Foo Fighters, these two massive bands, come out the wake of other bands. Granted, New Order is Joy Division without Ian Curtis, but it's so different that it shouldn't work.
You can't just
and some would say they're equally as successful, more successful, technically on paper, than Joy Division were.
Yeah, but you can't, like, if the singer tragically dies, like they have to do that. There's nothing else you can do. And actually, New Order were like good in that they didn't just do the same thing again. Even though I know this even now still play Joy
Although
Division
Foo
songs.
Fighters did the same thing.
And that was like such a specific set of circumstances. It wasn't like Oasis breaking up because they all fell out
Yeah.
and had to go their own way. It's like,
But it's breaking the shackles of what you're related to, like what you're associated with, and proving yourself beyond that point, which
Yeah.
I think is just the point of this discussion. It's like there's so many bands to do it, and then there's so many bands who have success after. Liam and Noel have both had success.
Mhm.
It's nowhere near as what Oasis was. Liam's going out and doing tours of Oasis albums and playing about 60% of his set is Oasis. Noel's doing a good 8 songs or so of Oasis stuff. People are going because of Oasis and they're performing Oasis stuff. Whereas other bands, it's hard to leave it. And it's like, actually, I prefer the solo career of them. It's like, actually, he left Genesis, Peter Gabriel. Oh, but his solo career is even better. Like,
Here we
Had
go.
to mention it, didn't
Here
we?
we go.
so it's
To
gonna
mention
Phil
it.
Collins left Genesis.
I know.
It was more
Yeah.
successful. Like, these people do it. And that's the thing. Oh, you can't be better than Genesis. Look at Phil.
Well, yeah, I mean, Paul Weller's a great example. Spoke about him enough. Like,
it-
yes, maybe it's not as good as the Jam, but like he's had still a 30, 40-year career since what, 1981, 2. when
You're
he left.
better to talk about that because you're a Weller fan. I don't know any singles by Weller. I'm only familiar with the Jam. So.
yeah, what's the main one?
Change It Man.
Yeah,
Or You Do Something to Me.
that one.
Peacock
That one.
Suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great ones. But also someone to mention is Morrissey.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Or arguably like Morrissey getting himself in hot water, much like Carl Glass did. But yeah, I mean, he left the Smiths in what, 1988. And he's still going now. You know, things have changed for him slightly in that time, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the work was good as well. It wasn't like a case of
Yeah.
like, something lackluster, and it's like, this is good. Like, his
Yeah.
music's good. It's like, maybe, I don't know. I'm not a big Morrissey fan. I've seen him live with you.
Mhm.
I've seen some stuff. I know the songs, but
he can get away with not. I mean, maybe a good example is if you don't have to play your old band's music, to
Yeah.
make people happy.
Yeah,
Morrissey's done
yeah.
that time and time again. I know. Obviously, I saw Paul Weller last year, and he did like probably 4 or 5, and
Yeah.
it was a real treat. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like you're kind of reducing yourself to keep the crowd happy because he's got again 40 years of material.
Well, Foo Fighters never do Nirvana songs, or
they
rarely.
don't. No.
So, that's quite interesting.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they do play a lot of crap, so they should fill it in with Nirvana stuff, shouldn't they?
Well, they're the biggest rock band in the world. I'd say, like, I'd say it.
sad,
I'm gonna
isn't
say it. They're the biggest rock band in the world. Like,
I tell you who is. These boys.
well,
Yeah,
these boys are
they're
back.
back.
They-
They're back.
Yeah, they were just warming the throne for him.
Yeah, step
Dave
aside,
Grohl, get
Dave.
off that.
And he's actually just stepped aside with his
Well, do you
actions.
think it's a conspiracy that Dave Grohl got in hot water at the same time Oasis came back?
What, Noel and Liam caused?
Yeah, they're like, they were the one that started the affair for Dave, exposed it all, and they're like, now we can come back because Dave Grohl's not on the throne.
That's it. Yeah. Fiona Appleton is the woman who's had a baby with Dave Grohl.
Getting that wrong. Right, what I'm going to do, lads, is we've kind of spoke about people that have stepped away, this and that. I looked up a list of artists who went solo, and I was amazed at how many I just didn't think of because their solo career is so big. So I'm just going to run.
I might have something that kind of relates to what you're saying here.
Cool.
That I have a feeling that bands from the 2000s, like indie bands, landfill indie kind of thing, there's no band from landfill indie who separated from them and had a more successful career than what they were doing. Like Kelly from Block Party did it.
That was
He kind of had popularity, but then nothing else from that. But maybe your list will teach us otherwise.
Well, my list is almost like exclusively not anything from the indie world.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there we go.
Just artists that you it's so obvious that they're artists, but you never think, oh yeah, they're from that until you think about it. Like we kind of skipped over.
Well, I think we need to up our game with this list because every single artist we've mentioned, I would say the band that preceded them is still better. Maybe Foo Fighters is a weird case, but like all the others,
Nirvana's
like
better than Foo Fighters.
No, but in terms of bigger, in terms of like public consciousness, like obviously Nirvana is now a long time ago.
Yeah.
But Foo Fighters are so
They're
omnipresent in just like public culture, whereas like the others, I don't know.
So, go on, Tom. Give us the artist, and if we'll have to guess the
Should
band.
we do a yes, no? Should we do a yes, it is better? No, it's not.
Let's do that. That sounds
Because
good.
there's a lot, and we don't have to go through all of them. We can dig into
Pick
some.
your favourites.
I'm not going to do my favourites. I'm just going to do the list.
We've got half an hour to fill here, Tom.
Right.
So.
Okay, Jackson 5.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
MJ.
He was bigger, yeah. Do you see that
Don't
back?
say it like, oh, he
Do you-
was.
do you-
That's absolute. Yeah, he's the biggest musical artist in the world.
Janet Jackson was probably bigger than the Jackson 5 as well.
Sure.
I
that's
don't think so.
Side note.
Nah, Jackson 5 are bigger than her.
They're back though. The Jacksons are back.
Yeah, but
Another reunion. I mean, did they ever go? I don't know.
Jerome just can't
Jermaine's
stop.
dead.
Jermaine-
Yeah, but do you know how many Jacksons there are? There are bloody millions of them. They just rotate
Tito.
them in. It's
Bring back
fine.
Tito.
Tito's still alive. Yeah, get Tito out there. I don't know what Tito does.
It just hangs out. Plays
Just
some
hangs
record.
out.
Here's Bill Jackson. Yeah, he's in now.
Right, here we go. Again, things that people that we would just forgotten because it's just so obvious. Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
Very relevant. Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne.
Do you
Phil
think
Collins.
Ozzy Osbourne solo is bigger than Sabbath? Because I
Bark at the
I
Moon.
don't
Yeah, I
agree
think
at all with
I
that.
don't think he's influential and probably,
No.
but he's
But
more
tune for
prolific and
tune.
had just as much of an impact through the metal music of the 80s and late 70s.
It's only because he had a TV show in the noughties.
That's
Crazy
it,
Train,
yeah.
man.
Ozzy's
No,
bigger than everything, I guess.
Black
As a
Sabbath
figure.
are bigger than Ozzy. Come on, I disagree completely
Ozzy's
with
bigger
you.
than Black Sabbath. Ozzy
Disagree.
Osbourne itself is the biggest thing.
On the Black Sabbath poster, what's at the top? Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
It's not Ozzy Osbourne
It's
and then
all
Black
the
Sabbath
guys.
underneath,
yeah,
is
but
it?
Black Sabbath continued without Ozzy Osbourne, and Ozzy Osbourne was more successful.
I
People
don't
like
agree on that
Dio,
one.
but
I like Dio.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you prefer it to Ozzy's?
Not Dio Sabbath. I prefer Dio solo because that
Yeah.
stuff's so funny. It's like
Yeah.
we got to play Holy Diver.
Yeah.
Just play
Rainbows in the Night.
Rainbow in the Dark. Yeah.
Dark, that's it.
Right. Here's another one that we spoke about before that we started taping was the Beatles, the infamous four Beatles.
The Fab Four.
The Fab Four
Famously a
themselves all went
four-piece.
on to varied degrees of success.
What, two of them?
George Harrison is very good. The best
episode.
Beatle.
But then Mac has run probably twice as long as George now, maybe even 3 times
Yeah,
as long
but-
decade-wise. So over that span, is he?
Yeah.
Well, you're the expert. You're a resident Beatles expert.
I just
George
don't.
or George or Paul for solo output.
Paul, that's not
There
even
we
a
are. See,
question.
we said
Come
George.
off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't like Paul McCartney's solos. There's some good stuff in there, but it is you're digging
Oh,
through
I like it,
a
but
field
it's
of
just
shit to find a
comparatively.
diamond. Like,
Yeah.
Where's George Harrison?
yeah, George Harrison's got a blinder.
Got my mind
These
set on you,
things
and
just
that's it.
Oh,
No.
You got to get the triple album, mate. You got to
You
get
got to listen.
into
You got to watch
Wow
Marvel
Wow
films and
stuff.
listen
Sorry,
to the
triple
soundtracks.
album, and you're saying you got to go through all the crap of Paul McCartney's back on a triple album? Are you
Yeah.
joking?
Spirits up.
My Sweet Lord. Come on.
Yeah, my sweet Lord.
It's all there for you.
Yeah, it's all on Guardians of the Galaxy. You can listen to it.
Here's a juicy one that I forgot. George Michael.
George Michael, Wham, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. All right.
Mm,
Moving
yeah,
straight
yeah,
on.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
you're
that
right.
George
Yeah,
Michael's
that's-
bigger than Wham. Yeah,
Peter
absolutely.
Gabriel, we can skip over because we're not doing. It's not Genesis podcast, so we'll just move straight on.
Yeah,
Neil Young.
yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
a great
Neil
one.
Young is a perfect example
Yeah.
of it.
Paul Simon.
Yeah, these were on the list that I was going to bring up. Yeah,
Oh.
Paul Simon's. Not your list.
Yeah,
Sorry, don't take offence.
It's
to it.
not-
Sorry.
it's from the internet.
He's
It's
got a
from the
better list
archives.
here.
Yeah.
Who's in your list
No,
then?
don't say that. So that's how
your
he
list is
takes
better
it.
than mine. Here's a good one. Beyonce.
Yeah, Destiny's Child.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Let's see. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better.
There's people doing it. Yeah, and it's like better than NSYNC.
What was
absolutely.
that thing he said about when he got pulled over and he was like, "This is going to affect the tour."
Yeah, it's going to
What-
affect.
that
You
was
got,
that-
you got, yeah.
that
You've got to
quote
stop
was-
this. It affects the tour.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't care. You're drunk driving.
but that's like Steve Coogan getting out of another speeding offence by saying, "Oh no, I need to drive for the next series of the trip," which no one had heard anything about, and now suddenly that's in production. Just
No,
happens to be
to
at
avoid a
the
speeding
same
ticket.
time that he was going to get banned from driving for however long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, he was at the Commodores.
Yeah.
And I don't think he sung the famous Commodores song. I think that's like a misconception.
Is that
And
night
you can
shift?
quote me on that. You can just put no over it.
Yeah.
But is it easy? Is that one of his or is that
That's.
Commodores?
I think that's
What's the big
Lionel.
Commodores one?
I'll have to check this.
Yeah. All right. Skip that. Morrissey, we've done. Robert Plant. I don't say he's
No.
bigger than Zepp.
Bollocks,
No
yeah.
way.
Shite.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks was probably not as big as
Not
Fleetwood
as
Mac in
bad.
any way.
Don't
No,
agree with that one.
she did headline British Summertime last year though.
Yeah.
Clapton. Bigger
Yeah,
than Cream.
Clapton. Yeah, you could. I don't know any Cream songs really. I know more Clapton.
And that's kind of those are the big ones.
Yeah.
So if we judge the yeses to nos on a scale of, if you leave your successful band, will you have a successful career afterwards, post-career? It seems actually that it's more likely you will. Like the Michael Jacksons, the Paul Simons, they're not
Yeah.
all just huge flops. It's not just like, do the old stuff.
Who's your favorite Jackson?
Tito.
Tito. I like Jermaine because wasn't he on like Celebrity Big Brother one year?
Yeah.
And he was an absolute
He was.
clown.
I don't really want to think about the Jacksons.
I like Michael.
You brought them up.
Yeah, like. Yeah, so yeah, the Tito's didn't do anything. Tito's and the Jackson didn't do anything. Jermaine didn't do anything. They
Watch
did
them all
some,
have
but
like
nobody
10
listened
solo
to it.
albums. Yeah.
But yeah, but then there's other bands as well who do things like you have the Maccabees break up, like more contemporary bands, because a lot of these bands have a bit.
May
of
they
a
rest in
longevity
peace.
to 'em, and they're very glimmering, shining examples, like
Right.
to aspire to.
Mm.
Whereas like you look at bands who like indie bands and things like that, they don't have a success rate after they leave their band or do a side project. It's like nobody knows what
But I wouldn't
Orlando
put,
Bloom or whatever he's called from the Maccabees. He had
Criticized.
he had like a single, but he probably like played. Oh, he did a tour, played London. He probably played like Oslo or something. They don't do like Max Coco.
But I wouldn't put the Maccabees next to like Black Sabbath.
No,
The Beatles.
No, but that's my point. I'm taking it. We're looking at the
It's
highest.
a smaller.
We're looking at the upper thing. We got to look at like the lame and the regular folk.
The regular
of
folk.
bands.
Well, that would be a Paul Weller. You know, 3 boys in a band making it work,
Yeah,
and then he goes off and does his own thing
Yeah.
multiple times. Style Council. you
yeah,
know.
exactly.
What
And-
did you call Style Council earlier?
Oh, I don't know, like
The
Ministry of Glam or
haircuts,
something.
Ministry of Haircuts, or
Yeah,
something like
Haircut
that.
100. Like,
that's it. Haircut.
that's it.
Oh, Clash, big Audio Dynamite.
Big Audio Dynamite as well.
Mick
Was
Jones.
that bigger than the Clash? Yes, it was.
Was it?
No, it's like it's
No,
rubbish.
No.
But yeah, like, and then old Joe Strummer did his own stuff, and it's like I don't know any of it. Like, there's probably like a good.
So I did some
rebellion
movie
song.
soundtracks and stuff.
Well, who are the big flops then? Who are the people who've come out on a high out of a band and then just crashed and burned? Oh my god, another one that we didn't remember: Robbie Williams,
Yes.
the favourite of the
Oh,
podcast.
a better
Of course,
man.
he is the
Yeah,
ultimate
you're a better
example.
man
How
for
do we
bringing
miss
that up.
this?
Yeah.
Oh.
The ultimate example, bigger than Michael Jackson. But yeah, so who is a big flop?
Yeah, we love a flop. In this
Yeah,
country.
like
Well, would you consider Liam and Noel flops based on the data of success?
no, because they're successful, but it is in the shadow of Oasis.
But why couldn't Liam go on to do a Michael Jackson of like, yeah, Jackson 5 got the tunes, but now we're into the real
Because
stuff.
he hasn't got the talent.
Well, why is Noel then? If Noel wrote those 2 albums, obviously all the albums, but those first,
They're kind of in their
Ground.
own lane, aren't they? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, Michael Jackson kind of was a pioneer of like pop music through the 80s. He was the king of pop. And he had people like writing stuff for him.
but
So.
why couldn't Noel be the king of rock?
Yeah.
and just do big guitar
He
music?
only does
Why?
rip-offs of Slade and the Beatles. Like, I love it. I'm going seeing him this year. I can't wait for it. But yeah, like, I'm not.
Let me
gonna
try the
say-
number again, lads. If we
Yeah.
want
Yeah, it's worth it.
He's
yeah.
not. Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's no Beyonce.
No, he's not a Beyonce. And I think also that the thing with Noel and Liam is they didn't develop their sound that much in a way some of these other people have done. Like Beyonce's now doing a bloody cowboy country album.
Yeah.
Like she is still evolving.
So
like
is
even
Ringo.
today.
Yeah.
Ringo's
Ringo's doing
evolving.
one as well,
At 84 years old.
But like that's what Noel and Liam didn't do. And we talked about it in the previous episode about Shoulders.
Yep.
And that was their attempt at changing things, and it was,
Didn't change a
not
thing.
received well and
By us.
didn't ultimately change anything.
Right.
Whereas like these people are like really pushing it, which is probably what you've missed out of like Noel and Liam's
Yeah.
solo
Exactly.
careers.
So does it come down to the producer? Does it come down to the time, like the era? Like, the 80s was big for pop. So it just worked. You know, the 70s was a disco-y, dancey
I
stuff.
think
And then we
if you're
get
a singer, it's easier to go out and change your complete backdrop of what you've got,
Right.
or be molded into something.
Harry Styles.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
It's bigger. Yeah, bigger than One Day. Like.
But he's also pivoted to being an actor as well now.
Brilliant.
So that's good in a way, because then you're not having to just replicate the like
Yeah.
hyper success of like One Direction. You can also just be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm actually an actor, so I just do the music on the side now. A bit
That-
like Justin Timberlake sort of did that as well to a lesser
that is
extent.
annoying though, isn't it? Isn't it? When you see like him pop up in
Like In
social
Time or whatever
network
it's
and like,
called,
it's
Yeah.
like, come on, mate, give someone else a go. Like,
Yeah.
you're not that, you're not all that.
I'm trying to think of a really like glaring newer one. I want a newer one at someone who's like new. I mentioned Kelly from Block Party earlier, but it's like.
But
his-
that's 20 years ago still.
Yeah, I know, but he's doing 2011. I think he did it, or 2010. He had his solo career because I saw him at Reading Festival, and he came out doing like whatever song, and it was kind of popular, that album. And I remember watching it, and I could have been watching Limp Bizkit or something, but it was raining, and I didn't want to get wet and drive home that night.
Well, sorry.
So he's just come back again with something I've seen. But then they've also announced their 20th year anniversary tour of Silent Alarm,
You've gotta
which they've
milk
been
that.
touring for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like pre-COVID, they were playing gigs for that. So
Well, the only one I can think of from that era is Test Icicles,
yeah,
who I love.
yes. Oh,
And then you got Dev Hines,
Dev
and
Hynes.
he did
Blood Orange.
He went to Blood Orange, but he did Lightspeed Champion
He
first,
did, yeah.
which was very wet, but I loved that to death. That was
Yeah.
brilliant. And now Blood Orange is
Yeah,
just
Blood
like
Orange is like
way up
way
there.
bigger than
So
any of those.
he's a success story, the rare gem of success
Yeah.
stories from our indie
of that indie
era.
era.
Because Cribs never went on to do it. And
Yeah.
they never, but they're brothers, so I guess
Yeah,
all
they just
stuck
started
together.
treading water, and like Johnny
Yeah.
Marr even left. Like he was done with that. like-
Yeah. Who else do we have? From
What
there?
are flops? And I love this band. I love the man, but Jarvis Cocker
Oh.
after Pulp, like he wasn't trying to replicate it, which is fair, but also is a bit of a get out in terms of what we're talking about.
But
But,
he's so unique in that respect. His
Well, that's it,
charm
yeah.
and his like slithering little.
Yeah.
well, that's it. He's almost like a piece of art in himself.
Yeah.
But nothing he ever did as a solo artist.
Yeah.
He didn't really have like a hit.
I did
would
like
say.
the name of that album, Jarv is.
Yeah.
Jarvis. I thought that was cool.
But again, that was like another reinvention of
Right.
the reinvention. So
Well, speaking of a guy like that, Damon Albarn went on and did Gorillaz, and
Yeah.
I would say in some instance, Blur, in parts of the world, are the biggest band in the UK specifically, maybe Europe. But I think Gorillaz are like probably worldwide a more successful band than Blur ever were for
It
him.
reaches
Anyway,
a bit further than it speaks to more
Yeah.
people and it's got more like influence right
Yeah.
in the heart.
got cartoons
It's
and
not-
Gorillaz
it's got
played-
cartoons. Yeah,
if
that's why I
Gorillaz
got
played
into it.
Coachella last year, people probably would have loved it. But
Yeah.
then Blur, like no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's true. And he did Good, Bad and the Queen. I actually didn't mind that.
Yeah.
But that was with Mick Jones and Paul Simon from
Yeah.
The Clash. But not bigger than Blur,
no, I don't think so.
no.
And actually, would you call Gorillaz a solo project? Like, it's not his name. I think it's got to be to the name, right?
No, I'd say that like moving on to another band or something like Father
Okay.
John Misty leaving Fleet Foxes as the drummer.
Right.
I'd say that they're probably Fleet Foxes might be a tad just above him, but I think they're on equal footing playing like the same type of venues and stuff now around the world.
Mm.
Like he left, it's like, oh, he was the drummer. He had it good there. Then he left. He's like, I'm going to do my own solo career. It's like, oh, good luck, mate. And it's like, oh, he's doing all right actually. Like,
Well, it's funny you should say Father John Misty because I saw him singing the songs of Scott Walker.
yeah,
And Scott Walker was in like a 60s pop band, the Walker Brothers, who weren't brothers. And then he went on to just have some of the greatest work of all time. So again, another great example of someone that did succeed. So I think actually talking about the success rate is
Yeah.
more positive. Then you just assume everyone that left the nest would
Yeah.
fly to the ground, but no.
Is that because, I mean, these are pretty much all supremely talented people. Like, they've made it once.
Yeah.
You can make it again.
Why couldn't Noel make it again? Why
Well,
couldn't we do
He has made it. He's selling arenas, but again, in the
but-
shadow of Oasis. So.
again?
But he's not done a band with cartoons in it, for example.
Yeah, you got to put cartoons in it. I think that's
Yeah.
the secret sauce.
That was
isn't
what
it?
he was missing.
No, I think you're dismissing the Gorillaz a bit too much there. I think.
I love Gorillaz.
I bet you do.
I do like Gorillaz. They're
Yeah,
brilliant.
Gorillaz are good. I'll tell you one that I saw. Cause I'm hooked on this, trying to find someone like of a current thing that we would have liked.
Right.
Klaxons,
Right.
their lead singer, who's married to Keira Knightley.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he went on, and I saw him support the band The Lemon Twigs at Coco with his band Shock Machine, and it's like no one knew who it was, and it was like
recently.
no, this is like 2017, but it's like, oh mate, yeah, because Klaxons were huge for a
Yeah.
For one
5-year
album.
period,
Yeah, that
like,
one album. Yeah.
and then they just disappeared. Like they need
Mercury
to get
Prize
back.
winning Klaxons.
Yeah, that's it. That's just music
Someone
lesson
paid
DJ.
for that. Yeah.
Just like but yeah, there's got to be someone with just a glaring omission here.
But it has to be from the 2005 era, the
No,
indie boom. Because there's no Alex Turner didn't go solo. He did Shadow Puppets.
No,
but-
yeah.
Alex Turner did go solo, though, didn't he? Because
Well,
he had the
ain't-
Submarine album.
Oh, we did the
Oh,
soundtrack.
that's a bit of
didn't
an
he? Yeah.
offshoot, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
the
but-
Joe Strummer thing of like,
Well, that's it.
I'll
It's
do
not-
this
you
over
can't
here.
compare that. Yeah,
But
he wasn't
Last
playing
Shadow
like...
Puppets is a
Side
split off
project.
in
That's a
side
Gorillaz-esque
project. Yeah, I'm
thing,
including
yeah.
side projects in this. Yeah.
But again, not bigger.
not bigger, no.
Like, not
No,
just forget-
successful, but not bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe if they kept at it, they could have been, because people liked the last Shadow Puppets album.
But that was doing Scott Walker. So that was what was interesting about
Oh,
it.
is it?
And I saw Alex Turner and Miles Kane at the Scott Walker thing.
Uh-huh, yeah.
That was my last celebrity spot. I was like, they walked in right at the end in leather jackets and sat in the middle. I was like, this is where you get everything
With
from.
hair.
This is where you stole the ideas from.
We saw Guy Garvey at the Arctic Monkeys gig. At Ali Pally. So
That was just a fat bloke.
you're
in a-
always
in a
going to
duffel
see. I
coat.
said hi to him. He's like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Pints
yeah,
in
yeah.
hand, love it. But yeah, like Guy Garvey, has he split off? And
But
he's a
never gonna be
radio
bigger than
DJ
Elbow.
now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Radio 6.
All right, what about some what ifs? What if Chris Martin left Coldplay? You know, big, horribly big, stupidly, awfully big things. If he tried to do his own thing, he would, like Dave Grohl. If Dave Grohl went solo, people would half the thing.
Well, that's the thing.
follow
That
Dave
in
Grohl.
that example, like, he is Coldplay.
Yeah.
Like, no
who
one
are
would
the
even
other
know
guys?
the other people if
But
they
if you
like
lose
walk
that
past you on the
brand,
street.
you know, maybe like your parents would know Chris Martin by name, or so
Oh,
you'd
I think
lose.
they
You get a
would,
drop
though.
off there.
That's why I think they would.
He would go and play Coldplay songs at his gigs still.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet.
it'd be
Like
awful.
like a Noel and Liam kind of thing. I don't think he'd be, no, I'm just doing my own thing. He would just go, oh, I'm just going to play arenas and just play Coldplay songs without the other fucking bozos.
Who would be in his band then? There'd be him, Michael J. Fox.
Michael J.
Who else would be?
Ed Sheeran.
Ed
Ed
Sheeran.
Sheeran and
Zach
Johnny
Starkey.
Marr, because he's in every band.
Yeah, he is on, yeah. Zach Starkey on
And all
drums.
the Cribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's that? Yeah, who else? Yeah. I'm not including bands. It's like, oh, Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band, because they just played like the same shit.
Mm.
But yeah, it seems to be like, if you're the talented main front guy, there's not many side guys who go off and do it really. Like, where did we see the Vampire Weekend bassist?
yeah. In the tiniest
At the
venue in the
Moth
world.
Club,
Yeah.
And it was
You
like,
paid to see that?
yeah,
Yeah, we
Adam wanted
paid
to
like
go. I went with him.
£8.50. Don't try and say you didn't want to go.
I didn't know who he was until I
Sorry.
did.
Did you wear your little boat shoes?
He
little
asked me
button
on the
shoes?
day, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know who this is." And then I saw a picture. I was like, "Is that the guy from Vampire Weekend?" And it was, yeah,
Tom, we had tickets for months.
Yeah, I bet, mate.
yeah,
I bet.
That I
Can you
did. I was
believe
like,
this-
I can't wait to see Bayo.
Singer of Vampire Weekend's married to Rashida Jones.
Is it?
That devastates me
what
almost daily.
the singer?
Yeah. Again, you're just like, okay, you haven't even got to be in a good band. You've just got to be in a band and famous and have like 2 songs.
So
And then you
funny.
just get it all. Klaxons, man.
yeah.
God damn it. What are we doing so wrong? Well, Ringo's married to the Bond girl from Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. But it's just like, yeah, you got a Bond girl. Of course you did. You're a Ringo Starr. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, solo careers.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Trying to work out though, because there's plenty of them, plenty of stinkers, but they're not even worth mentioning. It's like
yeah.
they
it's
had
true,
no
yeah.
success. It's like, if you go, oh, I'm gonna go see this guy in a really small room. Oh, he's in my favourite band who aren't together anymore, and there's no the success doesn't carry over.
Is that from the Jam Jab?
Maybe, yeah. That's who you'll see. Yeah, exactly. Like you could go see your own favourites doing covers of their songs because they don't have the singer. But the one to end this on, a band who aren't as successful as any of their previous bands, and maybe for good reason, but who knows? I haven't seen them yet. Mantra of the Cosmos, Andy Bell, Bez, Sean Ryder, Zach Starkey. I think that'll do it, lads.
Boys.
Yeah.
A little change of pace on this one, but
Good episode, boys. And remember at home that you can follow us on social media. All details are on your screen now, or they're in the description if you're listening to us on Spotify. Remember, you can listen to us there. We'll be back next time. See ya.